Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest Series 16, Book 2, Ronak, the Toxic Terror. So like always, in-depth story analysis, and then my overall thoughts on this awesome book. So without further ado, let's get to it. I should mention that in some older Beast Quest reviews, I mentioned that Sepron's tooth allows Tom to breathe underwater, when actually it's the Pearl of Gwildor that does that ability. Plus, I have been told that the author, Adam Blade, is not an actual person, but a group of people who make these books, but maybe I'll refer to them as the Beastmakers. Anyway, with that being said, let's get to Ronak. Tom and Eleanor were riding along, and soon saw some wasteful acres of land all rotting away. They then found a smashed vial, which they soon realized was one of Kensa's, which means she had already created the next beast for them to fight. Tom wondered if the next beast caused this destruction, and if his theory was right. It would mean the beast is toxic. You see, this is what I don't get. Sometimes Tom would pull info out of nowhere, when sometimes in the next book he would figure it out, something via surroundings. That's what should be done, basically. So it seems to me that Adam Blade, aka the Beastmakers, keep bumping into this mistake, and they try to correct it in the next book, if they remember it. Anyway, we also learn that Eleanor's horse Star is a male, which is odd because last book it was a girl, but whatever. Anyway, our heroes also mention that Kensa is the one who poisoned Freya. This is probably an assumption, so it doesn't bother me too much. And of course our heroes rode off to see large goat tracks, which indicates the next beast. However, they were cut off when they bumped into a sword fight. One man was about to end the fight, and it would seem a life. Tom broke up the fight, and after a slight scare from Eleanor, the villagers spilled what the fight was about. Some of the villagers from one local village were blaming the neighbouring village for stealing the prized ram and destroying the crops. Now, we know as readers that we should know this is actually the cause of Ronak the new beast. No doubt this ram was the victim of Kensa's potion. Anyway, the people soon recognized our hero as the son of Freya. However, they were worried as a beast was nearby if Tom was around, and the villagers came to the conclusion that it was Hawkeye who was responsible, as this was her domain around these parts. Tom tried to reason with the people, but it was too late. They had already joined to an angry mob and went off searching for Hawkeye, so now our heroes had to find Hawkeye before the villagers did. So basically what happened there was Tom was there to stop the fight. Then everyone figured out, hey, this is Tom, the son of Freya. So they thought, like, if Tom's around, there's a beast around, and that beast is probably what's causing the carnage. And since Hawkeye's around this area, they think it's her, so they go off to Hawkeye. So that's pretty much a nice idea to have the two groups join for that conclusion, so it makes them kind of smart. Tom used the power of the red jewel to help locate Hawkeye. From what it sounded like to me, or to Tom, he believed she was in a cave. So with the aid of a boy, he told them of some caves that were close by. Heading in that direction, they reached Hawkeye, who was revealed to be suffering like Freya. Tom came to the conclusion that since Freya is sick, the beasts of Gwildor feel her pain too. I have said I don't like how Tom pulls information out of nowhere, but this one doesn't bother me too much because it's another incident where Tom puts the knowledge he knows to figure something out, which does show him getting smarter and more adaptable. I should also mention that our heroes found some ram wool near the cave where Hawkeye was hiding. Tom and Eleanor assumed Kensa put it there to lure the mob to finish off Hawkeye. Now if it was Kensa who did that, why not enter the cave and finish off Hawkeye herself, or B, send Ronak to do it? I don't know, but anyway the people do arrive at the cave and are about to slay Hawkeye, but our heroes defended her while Hawkeye made a retreat to safety. However, our heroes were knocked out by the overwhelming odds. Tom and Eleanor were revealed to be tied up against some large cartwheels. For letting Hawkeye escape, they had no choice, as in the people here had no choice but to make demands. They told our heroes they had sent a messenger to Freya. If she didn't help them stop Hawkeye, she would lose her son and his companion. The villagers left them to the rats, locking the barn and took the precautions of doubling Tom's ropes, as they had already witnessed his incredible strength power from the golden armor. But then Tom heard people outside crying in panic. A beast was here, and our heroes knew it wasn't Hawkite. Serves them right, eh? Tom and friends soon realized the barn that they were in was catching fire. They quickly had to get out of there. So Eleanor came up with a plan to use their body weight to roll their cartwheels out and smash a hole through the barn. It was tricky, but eventually they got it, and were reunited with the boy, Kevin, or should I say Kavan, it's pronounced, who had brought them their weapons, so they could defeat the beast. They faced the new beast, and Kavan told them that this was Ronak, the leader of the tribe's prized ram. Our heroes were right, it was Kenz's work. When Ronak stamped the ground, it began to shake, and when he charged, he ended up crashing into his own family's house. The leader, Carl, soon recognized his ram, but no matter what he said, he couldn't get through to him. Ronak had them in his sights. Eleanor threw some rubble at the beast, bringing his attention towards them. Then Kavan got them their horses, and he even hopped on, despite Tom's warning of the danger. They rode for a bit with Ronak in pursuit. While Tom was conjuring a plan, he remembered his uncle had a ram like what Ronak probably looked like, and he planned to use one of his uncle's old farmhand methods to stop the charging beast. That's creative of Tom, using his own uncle's farmhand skills to stop a beast which is based off an animal from the farm. However, things went downhill when Kevan fell off and landed in some of Ronak's poison, which he uses to rot the land. While Eleanor took Kevan to be healed, Tom would have to face Ronak alone. Tom fought off Ronak for a bit, but it seemed his efforts were pointless, as Ronak had appeared immune to their weapons. But when Ronak slipped in some mud, this gave Tom the moment he was waiting for. He took the seaweed he had acquired early on his quest, and planned to use it while Ronak was trying to buck Tom off after he stumbled on his back. But then Ronak noticed Eleanor and Kavan, and he began to charge at them. Tom shouted to Eleanor just in time, and despite her arrows, it didn't seem to slow the beast's charge. Tom took the seaweed and moved it to Ronak's nostrils. Blinding the stench, Ronak crashed, with Tom using his shield to protect them. When everyone looked to see what happened to Ronak, it was revealed that the spell had worn off. Ronak had reverted back to his normal size. Only one of his horns had been removed, but other than that, he was fine. With Kavan healed, they took Ronak home and were apologized by the people for their behavior. They said farewell to Kavan and rode off. I'm guessing that farmhand trick Tom learned from his uncle was involving the seaweed. How ironic. And Tom had taken the horn along with the remaining scraps of seaweed to aid on his quest in the future. But yeah, that was my attempt at Ronak, the Toxic Terror. Hopefully I didn't do too badly there. I think I have a few scuffles, but I think I did a pretty good job. Hopefully it came out well. Anyway, I think Ronak is actually a better version than Styro, I think, because when it came to Styro, it was set up, and two, it did make a few mistakes when it came to Tom. I've noticed recently that it does that a lot, where Tom gets information out of nowhere, and then sometimes in the next book he would figure it out properly in a more realistic way, where he looks at what he's got to work with, the knowledge he knows, all the surroundings he has. He puts that information in his mind, and that's what should be done. So it does appear they are getting better at it, but sometimes it admits they're like, oh, we forgot about it again, so we got to clear that up. But that's a reason why I like Ronak. Ronak the Toxic Terror is a better version, a better book than Styro, in my opinion, because it doesn't rely on setup, it gets to the action, it knows what it's doing. Sadly, the books are now 8 chapters, but it still doesn't change the fact that Ronak is a nice, gentle story of this ram turned evil, and Tom has to put it back to its normal state. Anyway guys, that has been my read on Ronak the Toxic Terror. And next time on Beast Quest, we'll be moving on to the next book in Series 16, and that, of course, being Solix, the Deadly Swarm. Till next time, guys. Peace.